Okay, good morning. Just wanted to make a video. I watched the DVD a while back, John Bedini and his 30 coiler. And John Bedini, it's kind of odd that this here starts out 911. But in the DVD, he talked about a lot of stuff, and a lot of it went over my head. And it's funny how over time, when you think about it, things start making sense. So while it's making sense, I thought I would make a video to hopefully help anybody that's into this understand just a couple aspects of it. One, he says the batteries are half of the system. You know, it's in other words, it's not really, I mean, we use it to charge batteries. The energy is awesome for charging batteries. But actually, the run battery and the charge batteries are they're both hooked in series in the system. Now, I did a little bit of experiment and found out that when you have, now we're just going to use this for example. I was going to use all these batteries, but it's a little bit too much voltage. It's like 50 volts when they're put in series. When you put something in series, the voltage goes up, the current stays the same as one battery. When you put it in parallel, the voltage stays the same and the current goes up. So in series, you're kind of eliminating more current. You're just sticking with voltage, which voltage won't damage, current damages. So right now I have these. This is positive here, and this is negative. These two put together, so this is, I don't know, 18 volts. So this one is negative, and I have it going to the positive. So right now they're hooked in series. And right now I can't use these two batteries to charge that one. And I just want to demonstrate that real quick. Okay, it's sitting on 911. Oh, that's odd. Okay, so I'll touch this and watch what happens. It appears it's going up, right? But you notice the negative? And when I let off of it, it's no longer 911. Now it'll eventually pump back up, because as long as the battery's good, the voltage will slowly build back up. So I'll try to do this real quick. I'll take this one off, and this is the negative lead, so we'll put it on the negative side, because this is pretty interesting. Okay, so now we have it is put in parallel. So the positive from this is going to go to the positive of that. Okay, now watch what happens when I touch it. You notice there's no negative, and the voltage is coming down. It's coming out of the two batteries, going into the one. Now I'll let off of it. So you see, you can charge, just as long as they're in parallel, you can charge a battery. So that being said, the way this works, you have bifilar coils, and to my understanding, this is a Nikola Tesla idea, the bifilar coils. John Bedini come up with the circuit that allowed, instead of using points and spark gap and all that, this circuit allows the energy on the bigger wire, which is the energy wire, to basically collect it. It's like John Bedini called it an energy pump. And the more I think about it, it makes sense. You got a water pump, an air pump. This is an energy pump. So the idea is you use as little amount of current as you can out of this battery, preferably none at all, to pulse this. So in other words, you want the sharpest trigger you can get, the fastest trigger, because voltage is much, much, much faster than current. So as long as the trigger is really, extremely fast, extremely sharp, the voltage will make it and do the same job without allowing the current to make it and start destroying stuff. Current's what destroys batteries, not voltage. So that being said, these two batteries, okay, say this is the run battery, this is the charge battery. Now say this is just one 12-volt battery, and let's just pretend that this is about 200 volts worth of batteries put in series. So a little bit of current, preferably none at all, running this energy pump. The energy coming off of it will be charging 200 volts worth of batteries. Now, when, like we've seen here, when the voltage on the charge side is higher, it will backfeed. But you can't backfeed when it's in series, only when it's in parallel. Now here's the thing that I remember from the video. When this circuit allows current to come from, or not current, but voltage to come from this battery to pulse the coil, the circuit flips and then allows the radiant energy to go in the opposite direction. Well, if it's hooked up in series, but it's going in the opposite direction, that puts it in parallel. Now this is significant, especially to me, because now I understand why I built one of these and had it run for 5 weeks on its own. Because the energy in the battery that was running it was always lower than the energy in the batteries that I was charging. And it was kind of ironic because I just made a battery swapper and never really had a chance to use it. Because while I was waiting for the primary battery to come down, I started noticing when I'd come in every couple hours and check it, that sometimes it would be up higher than what it was when it started. When I started keeping track, I found that the battery voltage was teeter-tottering back. When the charge side would go down, the primary side would go up. And vice versa, when the primary side went down, the charge side would go up. So what it was doing was the charge battery was running it or the primary battery was running, and when it charged up the charge side enough, it would backfeed back into the primary battery. That's what Bedini meant when he said that the batteries are half of the system. It's not really meant so much for being a charger, which is what most of us use it for, because it is awesome. You can charge alkaline batteries, and they charge up, especially the 9-volt, they charge up really good because there's 6 little batteries put in series. But my idea, and what I'm going to try, and I apologize, I don't have it set up, it's just kind of something I was just thinking about. I have 3 coils here. I have one coil that mainly runs it. It draws a little bit more current than the rest of them. I call it current, but really current doesn't make it. It's still voltage. It's drawing, 2 of them are drawing like 10 milliamps each, and one's drawing like 50. So one's helping to pulse it more. But if you could pretend this, pretend that I have 10 coils turning one rotor, and 9 of those coils are only drawing 10 milliamps each out of the primary battery to pulse. And those 10 coils, the energy coming off of it that goes to the charge side, instead of going to a battery, if it went to capacitors. Now these capacitors, sorry for the light, let me see if I can get some light on it here. These capacitors I have hooked up as AC capacitors. I got the 2 positives hooked together, and then the 2 negatives I have hooked up to a bridge rectifier. And then the bridge rectifier is where I draw the energy. So the idea is, if I have 10 coils and 9 of them are generator coils, they're not so much motor coils, they're just generator coils, triggering just enough to dump that energy into the capacitors. Now if this capacitor maintains a voltage that's higher than 12 volts, now these 2 put together, I should be able to maintain 20 volts if it'll pump. So however many coils I need to maintain 20 volts. That means this will always be higher than the primary battery. And what I will do is the 10th coil, that'll be more of a motor coil to help it run, or maybe it'll just be another generator. It all depends on what I need. If I don't really even need another coil, I'll just make it a generator coil drawing 10 milliamps. And then I'll use this as the primary battery. The 10th coil will not be hooked up with the rest of it. All the coils will be hooked up together. 9 coils will be hooked together. Primary battery running 9 coils, charging the capacitor. Then this will be the primary battery for the 10th coil. And if it maintains a voltage of 20 volts, if I can maintain a voltage of 20 volts, then it'll backfeed into the primary battery. This is the idea, this is the thought, this is some of what was coming back to me when, from many years ago when I watched this video. It's kind of odd how that happens. Now the energy coming off of this, I was going to try to prove that it was AC, alternating current. But by doing that, I took off the leads off of another bedini that I made and tried to hook up this light, and I didn't get it hooked up quite right, and it burned out the transistor. So I don't want to waste the transistors on this, but if you can see this light here, this is the light that is put to save the transistor if I get a bad connection with the charge battery, or if I don't have a charge battery on it. The safest way to do it is make sure it's not running when you disconnect the batteries and connect the batteries. But I wanted to show you this light right here is exactly the same that I use to save the transistor. And I just wanted to show you here real quick. I'm going to hook the leads up. You just kind of see the leads barely right there. This is the light. This is the leads. So I'll hook the lead up here, in here, and it will not light. It will not do nothing. It takes AC current, and the bulb is, I believe, 90 to 120 volt. Anything over 120 volt, it'll burn the bulb out. And I burnt many bulbs out before I realized that I can't put that much current through these bedinis because these bulbs won't handle it. But I don't want current anyway. I want voltage. So I just wanted to make a video to hopefully help anybody that understand a little bit about what this is. Since as I was waking up, I was understanding more and more about this video that I seen years ago. Thought I would make a video, hopefully help anybody else. Because the significant thing about the whole deal is when it's parallel, you can charge another battery. If the voltage is higher, you can put 2 batteries together, charge another battery, but not in series. And even though this is put in series, it gives you the illusion everything's in series. When the back spike, that they call back EMF, but it's not really back EMF if there's no current involved. Because back EMF is back motive force, and there's no back motive force when there's no current. So in this circuit, flips the current so it's coming the opposite direction. So it's coming parallel instead of in series. Okay, well, I just wanted to make this video, and God bless, and I hope it helps somebody. And if anybody experiments with this before I do, and yeah, please just post a video. I'd love to see it. Or leave any comments. I'll try to answer them. I'm real bad at looking at my comments. I got a lot of videos and I know it's a mess. I'm going to try to get organized. Matter of fact, I promise I'm going to get organized here pretty soon. So I just want to hopefully help somebody. Okay. Well, God bless. Bye-bye.